We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Well, it is the beginning of the end. Tailgating always epic, and it's the last tailgate of the season at Miller Park. We're set for game 162, the Cubs and the Brewers. Big crowd expected here today. A little giveaway with the stocking caps, and one last time to see the Milwaukee Brewers in play before the season comes to an end. A lot to play for the Chicago Cubs as well. They've got home field advantage in the wild card game on the line today. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us. Hard to believe we have arrived here. Game number 162, Bill Schroeder. And baseball goodbyes are interesting. We know we're going to be back next year. We all hope that's the case. But this has been a difficult season on the field. Not so much here in the booth. Had a lot of fun with you this year.
Yeah, it has been a lot of fun. You can't really get too worked up about, sometimes when the play on the field doesn't meet expectations. But every time you come to the ballpark, always great to see everybody at the ballpark. A lot of handshaking, a lot of man hugs today. So we'll be back at it again in spring training. In the meantime, we've got a pretty good pitching matchup today.
Yeah, and it's interesting today that the Brewers are going to give us a glimpse at the future with Jorge Lopez. It's his second start in the big leagues. He won in his major league debut.
And you figure he's going to be a lot more relaxed today. I mean, the first time out against San Diego, you figure he was amped up. He's had a tremendous season down in the minor leagues this year, and we heard a lot about Lopez before he made his start. He showed a lot of poise. He's got a good fastball, but the changeup was the difference maker in that San Diego game. 5 innings, he scattered 8 hits, 3 runs. He did pick up a victory. So you figure this second start is going to be more like the Lopez that he was down in the minor leagues.
Lot to play for all across Major League Baseball today. Our guys on the set, led by Craig Kershaw, they will break it all down. The final day races of 162. That's coming up next from Miller Park.
On all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Back here at Milwaukee, and a great way to close out for the fans here, especially Brewer fans, because they get a Brewer knit cap, and couldn't come at a better time, that's for sure. Welcome back to the finale here on Fox Sports Wisconsin, alongside Jerry Augustine and Davey Nelson. I'm Craig Kershaw, and we're going to try to simplify our best, at least set the stage for the meaning of today across baseball, because there are still a few things yet to be decided as far as wild card berths go, and it's going to be real easy for the Cubs here. If they win today and the Pirates lose, the Cubs are going to host that wild card. So that's the easy scenario. But over on the American League side, Davey, things could turn real quick here, depending upon what happens in that Angels-Rangers game and the Astros-Diamondbacks game as well.
Well, you know, this is what it's all about, man. Can you envision all this going on the last day of the season, and so many things can happen? But with Texas, if they win, they're sure they're in there. They win the division. But Houston, if they lose, the Angels win. Hey, you know, now there's all these tiebreakers, and you know, and it'll be fun.
And that's why we set aside Monday and a couple of days in between when that wild card game is actually scheduled for Wednesday. And it's big here for the Cubs, Augie, coming down to the final day, because if they win today and the Pirates lose, they're going to end up hosting that game on Wednesday. What's the importance of actually hosting that wild card game?
We're playing at home, and I'll tell you one, you got Jake Arrieta to pitch for you, and you're at home. It's just an excitement of being at home. There's nothing like that last game. Unless you've experienced it, the emotions, you raise your level of the game. It's just very, very special. But to get that game at home for Chicago would be very important. So there's pressure. There's pressure on Pittsburgh to win, but there's also pressure on the Cubs. They got to go out and they got to play hard today and try to beat the Brewers.
Yeah, the Pirates have experienced that wild card game the last couple of years. So we'll see how this one all plays out. Everyone starting at the same time here today. Our game coming up next, being rocked waiting for you on the other side.
It is perfect inside the climate-controlled ballpark here in Milwaukee. Joe Madden and the Cubs, if they win and the Pirates lose, the wild card game will be in Chicago at Wrigley Field on Wednesday. Any other scenario, they're going to have to go to Pittsburgh. Austin Jackson, Chris Coghlan, Chris Bryant at the top of Madden's order. He's got Rizzo, Castro, and Denorfia in the middle. Montero, Russell, and Dan Herron rounding out the Potawatomi Cubs batting order. And Jorge Lopez is on the mound, the Brewers minor league pitcher of the season.
Yeah, he bent but didn't break back in San Diego. He won his major league debut 4-3 against the Padres. 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs. The Southern League pitcher of the year. He was 12-5 with a .226 earned run average in Double-A this year.
Gets one last start in the big leagues. His first offering is in there for a strike, and away we go on the final Sunday of the season. Postseason right around the corner. We might have a bunch of tiebreaker games even beginning tomorrow. The American League wild card game is scheduled for Tuesday, and then the National League wild card game Wednesday. But who knows where this one's going today. Every team across Major League Baseball, every game is beginning right about now, 2 o'clock Central Time, other than the Cardinals and the Braves, who had to play a doubleheader today on the final day. Inside, that hit him. Jackson is drilled by a pitch. And Lopez, his first batter faced at Miller Park, is a hit batter and a man on.
Man, let's check out the Menards Brewers defense for tonight. You got Chris Davis, Domingo Santana, Shane Peterson in the outfield. You got Perez, Segura, Jeanette, and Lynn around the horn. And Martin Maldonado gets to catch the season finale today. 6th start out in right field for Shane Peterson.
Angel Hernandez calls the balls and strikes today. That is Ted Barrett there, the second base umpire. He is the crew chief, and I'm sure he is headed to a postseason crew. I'm sure they'll be announcing that in the next couple of days. Chris Coghlan at the plate for the Cubs. He's hitting second. Cubs are kind of going in reverse order here. Usually guys like Jackson, Coghlan, they're the ones who come in. Denorfia come in late in games. Madden's doing it just the opposite here today. No Schwarber in the starting lineup. No Dexter Fowler. Now, either way, whether it's at Wrigley or whether it's at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Joe Madden has the best weapon in the game ready for that wild card game in Jake Arrieta, who won here on Friday night, his 22nd win of the season.
Yeah, something else. And it really doesn't matter, I mean, where he's pitching, but you know the Cubs would like to have that wild card game on Wednesday at Wrigley. It's a big game for them, but you really can't tell. This is a very loose Chicago Cubs ball club. Seems like nothing really gets to them. Very talented.
Pittsburgh and Cincinnati are underway. They just got underway. They're headed to the bottom of the first, and Pittsburgh will be keeping a close eye on that one. Pirates have Jay Happ on the mound today, while the Cubs have Dan Herron matching up against the Brewers, against the rookie right-hander Lopez. All that's really at stake is home field advantage in the National League for the wild card game. There's a lot more at stake in the American League today. We'll be watching the Astros and the Rangers and the Angels. The Angels are in Arlington today to take on Texas.
There's a good curveball. Lopez showed a pretty good curveball. A little inconsistent with the curveball against the Padres, but still in all, a good pitch for him. Good moving fastball, low 90s. Good changeup, and that curveball he just threw to Coghlan.
Lopez is only 22. And a great run at Double-A Biloxi this year. Won his major league debut against the Padres on Tuesday. Runner goes and mishandled behind the plate by Maldonado, so a stolen base for Austin Jackson.
Yeah, had a pretty good jump. Maldonado trying to be a little bit too quick. Lost the handle on it. Never did have it. It's all about the quick feet for Maldonado. And that's the reason it's in the dirt.
So Jackson getting the start. Figures to be part of their postseason roster. Will certainly be on the wild card playoff game roster when you can expand your position players. Don't need to carry as many pitchers for that one game. Full count to Coghlan. And that misses. Not by much. Hit batter and a walk to start the game for Jorge Lopez. You could tell by his reaction. He's like, wow, that's a That strike zone's a little tighter in the big leagues than it was in Biloxi.
Yeah, that's a punch out in Double-A. The zone's a little bit tighter here. Angel Hernandez back there today.
Now Chris Bryant. Bryant up there again with men on base. He's still looking for that 100th RBI of the season. He's in our AT&T U-Burst Rewind because yesterday Bryant was waving and missing with men on the entire game.
Yeah, left a small village on the bases yesterday. Was it 6 or 7 guys?
8. He stranded 8 last night.
8 runners on the bases. Still looking for that 100th RBI. Stuck on 99.
Now Bryant and Rizzo both stranded 8 men on. The Cubs won the game 1-0 yesterday. Kyle Hendricks got the win. He was outstanding. Took a perfect game into the 6th inning, actually. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 on, and Bryant fouls it away. Now, regardless of the RBI total for Bryant, wherever he finishes, he's going to win the Rookie of the Year in the National League. There's nobody close, really. 26 home runs, 99 runs batted in.
They really had a difficult time with the changeup yesterday. Those were the pitches. That changeup got him just about every time up last night.
And it's 2-2. So Lopez with a fastball to get himself back in the count. Well, you never know how it works or if guys stay in the same place, but you look at a guy like Lopez facing Chris Bryant, and these two could be beginning many matchups against the Cubs and the Brewers as Bryant fouls that one away.
Yeah, going after him with fastballs. That would have 95.
Lopez coming off a minor league season where he won 12 games in 24 starts and a 2.26 ERA. Only Tyler Wagner had a better earned run average in the entire league. That was his teammate in Biloxi. Wagner was a tough luck loser yesterday against the Cubs. Bryant takes ball 3.
Laid off the changeup that time. That was a good one. Had a lot of break to it.
Rizzo due next. Lopez looking for that ground ball. Brewers would love to turn 2 here. Full count to Bryant. 2 on to start the game. And Bryant fouls that one off. He's hanging tough. And a lot of pitches early for Jorge Lopez, and Maldonado is on his way out.
And Maldonado, one of those guys that if there's something on his mind, he needs to feel like he needs to talk to the pitcher. He's going to call timeout and go out there. Nothing wrong with that.
Reset at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch number 8 of the at bat on the way from Lopez. And another foul out of play.
Yeah, behind that fastball. It's a pretty good one today. I don't think he hit 95 his last start, maybe 1 or 2, but getting it up there pretty good in the first inning.
Now the Brewers had a rally in San Diego for him to allow him to win that game. Lopez went 5 innings, and then the Brewers scored in the top of the 6th inning to take the lead. Another 3-2 is outside. Ball 4 on the 9th pitch. Man, that's not missing by much. Angel Hernandez has gone coffee can strike zone on the final day of the season. Wow. So the bases are loaded for Anthony Rizzo. It's going to be tough to pitch.
Yeah.
When you're not getting anything, either corner.
Well, let's see if Dan Herron has to deal with the same strike zone. Well, you would think that umpires these days would be looking to call strikes, and there's been a couple of pitches pretty close.
So Rizzo, the cleanup hitter, up there with the bases loaded. First ball swinging, fouls it off. Well, I can tell you now, we're only in the first inning, and nobody wants to get ejected in the final game of the year. But if that zone doesn't open up a little bit, there might be a few get run out of this game in that Brewers dugout.
Well, let's see what how the strike zone is when the Cubs are out there on defense.
Lopez knows he's got to pitch more in the middle of the plate now. That could be dangerous with Rizzo as he fouls one off, and it's quickly 0-2.
A couple of good curveballs to start him out. When you have a guy making good pitches on the corners and not being rewarded, it becomes very frustrating. All of a sudden now you're going to have to get a lot more of the plate. You're not getting calls, and that's when you have getting hit.
0-2 to Rizzo. Cubs have him loaded up and in the dirt. Good block back there by Maldonado.
The Brewers catcher is very good at keeping those breaking pitches in the dirt. Maldonado and Lucroy all season long, they've been very good at that. Gives a pitcher confidence to keep the ball down in these spots.
See what he does. 1-2 here, and that one's on the ground. That's through. Base hit. Jackson will score. Coughlin's right behind him, and the Cubs are on the board first. 2-run single by Anthony Rizzo. 2-0 Chicago.
Well, fastball in, and Anthony Rizzo, who stands right on top of home plate, does a very good job of pulling the hands in and keeping that ball fair just out of the reach of Lynn and into right field. So Rizzo now triple digits in RBIs.
And still nobody out. First 4 have reached for the Cubs. And Rick Kranitz, the Brewer pitching coach.
Let's see if he says something to Angel Hernandez. Nope. Had a couple of comments in yesterday's ball game coming off the field. Adam Hamari behind home plate.
All right, so Lopez will try to start it all over here. First and third for Starlin Castro. He's 22 pitches into this one already. He does not have an out. Castro with a couple of hits in the series. Craig Counsell wrapping up his first season as a big league manager. Getting a look at one of the prize prospects in the system in Jorge Lopez. Ground ball. And Segura's got it. Nice play to Jeanette. Throw to first in time and a double play.
Yeah, run scores, but do get a couple of outs. And nice pass over to Scooter Jeanette to start that double play. Off the bat, thought it might go into center field, but a nice backhand flip over to Jeanette, and he's able to turn it. Boy, Lopez needed that, although a run does come across.
To make it 3-0 Cubs. Well done, Gene Segura. 2 outs, 1 swing of the bat. Bases are empty now, and Lopez can go back to the windup. And he will face Chris DeNorfia.
There you go.
Finally got one, didn't he?
Got a called strike.
Go figure.
Yeah, who knows?
And a swing and a miss. Good curveball by Lopez.
Yep, good luck to everybody.
Now Jorge hit the leadoff batter. Back-to-back walks, made good pitches. He just missed on the edges, according to Angel Hernandez. And then that ground ball that found a hole between first and second to drive in 2.
I think it has something to do with who's up. Bryant, Rizzo. DeNorfia, gets the strike call. Bryant does not.
I like that, though. It's a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but it's worth exploring. A lot of pitches in this first inning. 1-2 on the way. Denorfia, and a ground ball over to Perez. And that will retire the side. Well, it was a battle. 3 runs are in. Rizzo drives in 2 more. Cubs have an early lead. Your Metro Milwaukee Honda dealers. Roof is all closed up. A little pyro to welcome the Brewers to the plate. Craig Counsell will finish with a record. He's hoping at 62 and 75. Brewers are going to need a comeback today. Here's his Potawatomi batting order. Jeanette, Peterson, and Lind at the top. You got Davis, Santana, and Perez in the middle. Segura, Maldonado, and Lopez. Rounded out and rocked the Cubs pitcher today is Dan Herron, his 32nd start of the season.
Yeah, 13th year for Dan Herron. He's been with 8 different teams. Cubs picked him up with a trading deadline, from the Miami Marlins. You see his numbers overall: 10-9. He's 3-1 with a 246 earned run average against the Brewers in 5 starts. 3-2 as a Cub this year.
In his 13th season in the big leagues, Herron delivers to Jeanette, and that's a strike. And Scooter back in that leadoff spot today. Brewers have 3 lefties at the top of their order. Cubs made a number of deals. They have been able to acquire. They've been able to strengthen their bench. They've promoted players from the minor leagues. As Jeanette rolls over one to second, there is out number 1.
Check out the Menards Cubs defense here this afternoon. Denorfia, Jackson, and Coghlan in the outfield. You got Bryant, Russell, Castro, and Rizzo from third to first. Miguel Montero back behind home plate. It was David Ross in last night's game. 4th most errors in the National League, 111. That might come into play in the postseason. The Cubs need to tighten it up when they get into the playoffs.
Rizzo is an excellent defender at first base. No telling how many he saves throughout the course of the year. And now he's up over 100 RBIs with his 2 RBI single in the top of the first. He's driven in 101. Shane Peterson with 1 away. Broken bat. That is foul.
He's going to see some changeups today. Dan Herron's got a good one. Doesn't throw all that hard. Relies on control. 37 walks, 129 strikeouts for Herron in 181 innings. So you go up there swinging the bat. That changeup's probably his best pitch.
The Cubs made a couple of trades that didn't quite work out, and I wouldn't call Dan Herron a complete fail, but he's given him innings. He's made 10 starts for him. Unlikely he would be on the postseason roster, certainly not on the wild card game roster. They wouldn't need him for that game. Cubs acquired Tommy Hunter and Dan Herron. It looks like Hunter is on his way out here in Chicago. Had a brief window of success, but struggled lately. And Herron gets the ball in this final game. Could be an important game for the Cubs. An important start for Dan Herron.
Cubs need a win. A Pirates loss would mean Wrigley Field has a game on Wednesday.
Herron was pitching pretty well in Miami. Had an ERA at 3.4 and 21 starts there as Peterson shoots one foul. Herron is a member of the Cubs with that 4.30 earned run average. He's averaging just a little over 5 innings per outing. He's given up more hits than innings pitched. There's a called strike 3. Peterson is out.
Yeah, that one right down the middle. I think Shane got caught looking for a changeup. Right down the heart of the plate. That late movement catches the inside corner, but certainly ended up down the middle by the time Miguel Montero got it.
2 up and 2 down for Herron. That's his first strikeout. Here's Adam Lind now. And Lind has some success against Herron in his career. He has 5 hits in 16 career at bats. 2 of those 5 hits are homers. Lind looking for his first hit in this series. Those are the numbers against Dan Herron. Herron pitching for the Angels and for the Oakland Athletics a little bit earlier in his career. There's a called strike 3.
Man, that zone opened up, didn't it?
All right then, we're off and running at Miller Park.
Craig Counsell and the Brewers front office. With the final game now underway, the work can begin in earnest to begin rebuilding this organization. And Craig Counsell was asked that based on this season, what is the timeline to get the Brewers back to contention? And he said really the first step was the admission. He said that is the most difficult step. So with that underway, it's now easier to take those steps 2, 3, 4. He said adding David Stearns to the mix is a huge step, of course, as well. So he said he considers his job to keep the spark lit so that when they're ready to take the next step, things can really take off. And he said it's not going to be overnight. There's going to be more work, possibly more pain ahead of them, but he's really ready to embrace that challenge now with the offseason.
Well, and the most important thing is for, Craig Counsell and David Stearns to put their mark on the organization. Craig Counsell inherited the Doug Melvin, Ron Renicky baseball team. Now it's going to be up to the two of those guys to put together the team that they feel is going to be competitive in the National League. That's going to be a process that's probably going to take more than 1 year.
Well, Counsell and new general manager David Stearns will hold a press conference on Thursday. That'll be at 10 a.m. Central, and they're going to have a press conference. That'll be interesting to hear what they have to say as we begin the postseason, the division series games. We'll have some news out of Miller Park with the new GM and Craig Counsell. Miguel Montero, a little flare, is going to fall into center field. So the Cubs doing some damage early. Got a 2 RBI single from Rizzo. Another run came in on a double play. It's already been 2 walks, a hit batter. So Jorge Lopez has allowed 5 base runners to the first 7 that he has faced. And now he'll face a hot hitter in Addison Russell.
He's given up only 2 hits, but the hit batter, 2 walks, both scored in the first inning.
Russell has 7 hits in his last 15 at bats. And a good curve in there for a strike. Now Lopez is at the end of his season. Been a long season for him, and the same story with Lopez as we talked about with Tyler Wagner yesterday, and all these rookie pitchers for the Brewers, but trying to just push through in this final month, these final few starts here. But he'll come to camp with a chance to win a job in the starting rotation, you would think, after the year he had. Big, tall, strong right-hander out of Puerto Rico.
143 1/3 innings down in the minor leagues.
And a wave and a miss. He struck him out. So Russell.
That foul tip or no?
No.
Nope.
Angel Hernandez points him to the Cubs dugout. No foul tip. First strikeout for Lopez.
Well, the innings for Lopez, I would imagine they were a lot more relaxing and a lot more calm for him than some of the young guys for the Brewers this year. Talking about Youngman and Jimmy Nelson. Being in the major leagues, you're on a struggling ball club. Lopez pretty much had things go his way just about every time out. The stress innings that really wear you down in the big leagues.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, he's down in the minor leagues just dealing. That great earned run average, 226. Not that it was easy for him, but those same type of innings, the same inning totals in the major leagues take a lot more out of you.
He's got the pitcher Herron at the plate with 1 away. Cubs scored 3 in the first, have a 3-0 lead in a game they must win if they are going to host a wild card game. All the teams have been set for a while in the National League. The matchups will be the Dodgers and the Mets. Dodgers will have home field advantage in that division series. And then the Cardinals, best record in the big leagues, they are awaiting the winner of the wild card game between the Pirates and the Cubs. Herron on the ground, right to Segura, and that'll be an easy double play, and the second double play in as many innings for Jorge Lopez. Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Cubs are up 3-0, 3 first-inning runs. And we head to the bottom of the second. Chris Davis ready to lead off. He's going to lead this club in home runs. Davis on Friday hit a 441-foot home run. His 27th of the season. And Davis with this impressive run in the last couple of months of play. Powerball home run leaderboard. Davis, Braun's going to finish with 25. We're actually going to visit with Ryan Braun today. He's going to put a headset on for us.
You don't see too many right-handed hitters hit him that far into right center. That ball almost hit the Toyota Highlander out there. You know what happens if a Brewer hits that car?
What happens?
A fan wins one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was pretty close.
Wow. That would have been something.
Yeah. Got incredible power.
The car or the batter?
No, the Highlander. It can get up and go. But Chris Davis has a lot of power, too.
I didn't know you were doing a commercial right now.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You know what made me think of it is that they just put that on the scoreboard here. And, you know, I didn't know that either until I heard Rob Edwards say it. If a Brewer hits the car out there, they win one.
You know, we're the last to know. Nothing changes after 162 days.
And finally, I listen to that and I hear that and we talk about it on the air. But Davis almost did hit that car out there.
I feel like you might be on the hunt for a new SUV. The way that unfolded right there, partner.
No, I'm good. Got all the vehicles I need.
Now Davis has hit 6 homers in his last 15 games. He had a 10-homer month of August, hit 9 in September. It's been impressive to watch him. I was talking to him before the game. I said, Chris, you need to hit 3 home runs today to get to 30. He's like, just tell everybody I might not even be in the lineup today. He was kidding. He's enjoying every second in that starting lineup, and he had a hard time getting into the lineup when Gerardo Parra was here. But there's no coincidence that Davis's home run barrage began right after that trade as he goes into center field. Jackson is there to make the play for out number 1.
Yeah, that went off the end of the bat. And he still had to still takes Austin Jackson back. Incredible power, bat speed at the point of contact. Very rarely overswings. Doesn't need to.
Here is Domingo Santana. Well, been a whirlwind season for Santana as well. Start of the year in AAA with the Astros, made it to the big leagues with the Astros, hit a couple of home runs there. Well, they crowded outfield in Houston and came to the Brewers in that Gomez Fires trade. He was one of the 4. Two of those 4 have made it to Milwaukee. Adrian Hauser and Domingo Santana. Hader is the left-hander that the Brewers got, and Phillips, the outfielder, the center fielder.
Yeah.
Maverick Phillips. Brett Phillips. So those are the 2 that we'll be looking out for maybe next year in spring training. All of them top 20 prospects in the Astros organization, and they'll certainly be that with the Brewers.
Craig Counsell has had plenty of time to take a look at a lot of these young players to see who's in, who's out for next year, who's going to be in the mix.
Little roller to third base. Chris Bryant is there this afternoon, and 2 men are out for Heron.
Hey, Studs Pub in West Allis is today's Tavern of the Game winner. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to an April or May Brewers home game next year. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. You know, just because the season's over, that doesn't mean there's nobody here at Miller Park. They will take your call.
Okay.
Somebody will be here tomorrow.
And they'll set it up for next season.
It's funny because every now and again you'll hear one of the players at the end of the season, one of the front office folks will be in a dugout and they'll say, "So what do you do in the off season?" And they'll look at him and say, "I'm here every single day.
Right.
When you guys are on the road, we're here. When you guys are done for the season, we're here." So front office folks work hard.
Pop up from Perez out in the grass, and that's going to be Coughlin to make the call and the catch, and that will retire the side. We are hoping to visit with Ryan Braun in the third inning. Stay with us. Well, we figured we started the season at spring training this way. How about we end it this way? Ryan Braun on a headset in the dugout. Unfortunately, Ryan's not able to play, but here he is. And thanks for spending some time with us, Ryan. Talk us through what the season has been like from your perspective, a player's perspective, and where you're hoping to head this offseason.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been a challenging year for all of us as players. Not the year we wanted to have, not the position we wanted to be in come this time of the year. But with that being said, it's obviously a transitional phase we're going through as a team, as an organization. There's plenty of signs of hope. There's reasons for optimism. Starts with having Craig Counsell as our manager, having a new young GM and David Stearns, and there's really some quality prospects we have coming up through the organization now. So there's reasons for excitement. There's plenty of things to be excited about and looking forward to, but obviously it's been challenging.
Yeah, Ryan, you're going to be part of certainly the rebuild, and regardless of how long that takes, talk us through the difference between getting to the ballpark every day when you're in a pennant race and you're trying to win games to get to the playoffs, and kind of the way things went this year. How much of a difference in your preparation and attitude is there?
You try to take the same approach, have the same attitude, show up every day with the same level of commitment to your routine, your process, and preparing every day. But certainly it's a lot more fun when you're playing meaningful games this time of year. I think it makes it a lot easier when you show up and you feed off the excitement, the adrenaline of being in a playoff chase this time of year. Because as you guys know, it's a long season. It's a grueling schedule, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. And when you're playing meaningful games this time of year, it just makes it a lot more fun to show up every day.
Yeah, it's got to be gratifying for you after a rough season last year with the injuries, the thumb problem, but you come back this year, a great season. It's got to be gratifying for you to realize when you're healthy, you're still one of the best hitters in the game.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I got plenty of really good years left in me. Hopefully some years that are quite a bit better than this year was. But it was definitely an honor to make it back to the All-Star game. Never an easy thing to do, something I'm proud of. Happy that my second half was better than my first half, and definitely some positives to take from the year.
And this is a year, Ryan, where you are the all-time home run champion, home run leader for the Milwaukee Brewers in franchise history. You passed Robin Yount this season, and I know you've had a little time to reflect as you head into the offseason. You have a surgery scheduled as well, but what do you think about your name being at the top of this list, especially passing a player like Robin Yount?
Just incredibly humbling. You know, Robin's the greatest player in franchise history, accomplished so many incredible things as a player. Anytime your name is mentioned alongside his, it means you've had quite a bit of success. So incredibly honored and humbled to be mentioned alongside his name.
Ryan has 255 career home runs as of this season, which is the all-time mark in franchise history. They've all been hit as a Brewer. And Ryan, just tell us a little bit about your thoughts going into the offseason, your upcoming surgery. Are you nervous? Are you anxious? Are you hopeful that you're going to be able to relieve some of this pain that you've had in your back?
Yeah, a little bit of all of the above. You know, a little nervous and anxious. Obviously, I don't really have much experience in dealing with this. Don't know exactly what I'm getting myself into. But at the same time, hopeful and optimistic that it really won't have much of an impact on the offseason. We're anticipating just a month of rehab and core stabilization after doing the procedure. I'll be going to see the doctor Wednesday, probably doing a follow-up MRI, and then tentatively scheduled to have the procedure done on Thursday.
I know you were trying to come back. You actually played last weekend in St. Louis. What exactly was it that inhibited you? And as you were trying to come back, were you ever worried that you would do more damage? And the final decision to go ahead and shut the season down, how did that come about as well? Can you just kind of take us through all of that thought process with you and the medical staff?
Yeah, I think we have as good a medical staff as there is in the major leagues. These guys are really phenomenal at doing their jobs. Show up every day, go through getting my treatment done, go through a process of trying to evaluate where the back was at. Played through this for a while, so we kind of knew the last couple months what I was dealing with. We were also told, obviously, if it got worse, it could potentially prolong the rehab process post-procedure. So that's what we were trying to avoid the whole time. Obviously, in being here, I want to play in as many games as possible.
They got to strike him out, and they throw him out, and a double play.
Nice.
Some kind of arm, huh, Ryan?
Unbelievable arm strength from Aldi.
Good work on the broadcaster side of it, too, Braun. You laid out perfectly. Man,
Thank
this
you.
Guy's a star. All right, I'm going to throw some names at you with 2 outs here at the risk of running out of the inning. But Jorge Lopez, what have you seen from him? What do you think about him?
I see really good pure stuff, and I've always thought pure stuff plays. You know, rarely do finesse guys end up having prolonged success in this league, so the fact that he has good stuff is encouraging. He doesn't seem to be bothered by adversity, failure. I know you guys have probably seen a little bit about what he's been through in his personal life with his son. And for anybody at that age to persevere through a situation like that, continue to have the success he's had is extremely impressive. And just encouraging moving forward, knowing that during this game you're going to deal with some failure and some adversity. It seems like he handles everything really, really well, especially for a really young kid.
All right, Chris Davis has hit 20 home runs since August 6th.
Really impressive. Extremely difficult to do. He's just got unbelievable power. He's been in quite a zone lately. Continues to work hard every day. Shows up every day. Puts his work in. Continues to try to get better on both sides of the ball. He takes a lot of pride in his defense. He does the best he can, trying to improve all the time. And offensively, what he's done over the last couple months is not something you see many guys do ever. So it's been really, really fun to watch and really impressive.
Last one for you here. Your other outfield mate, Domingo Santana, coming from the Astros to the Brewers. What have you seen from this kid, and what kind of future could he have in the big leagues?
There's a lot to like. You know, a lot of tools. He seems like the game comes relatively easy to him. It looks effortless with really long strides and an easy swing. He can run. He can throw. Just a matter of being able to make adjustments to sustain some success and consistency at this level. But certainly a lot to like, and he looks like he has the ability to be a really good player.
Ryan, real quick, Craig Counsell, what comes to mind when you hear Craig Counsell's name?
It's still kind of odd because we were teammates and friends for a while before he became the manager. So at times it's still an interesting dynamic, but I couldn't think of anybody better to lead us into the future, anybody better to be able to endure some challenging times, certainly, that lie ahead. He just has the right personality, the right mindset. The way he goes about his business every day is something that should inspire all of us to end up being the best versions of ourselves and get back to a place where all of us want to be, which is being consistently competitive.
Ryan, appreciate all of that info, man. It's great to hear your perspective on all this, the season, the new players. And we wish you the best. You had a terrific year this year, great bounce back year, and we'll be thinking about you as you go through your surgery.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Have a good offseason.
See you in spring training, buddy.
Sounds good.
That is Ryan Braun, and we appreciate his time, and he's a very thoughtful guy as far as the organization is concerned. He thinks about all layers of the organization, and we appreciate him sharing some of those thoughts.
Maybe one of the best spoken guys I've ever been around in baseball. I mean, never really says, he says the right things. I mean, he does speak his mind, but very eloquent in his delivery and the things that he thinks about.
Chris Bryant draws a walk. We've had double plays in the first 3 innings of this game. 2 traditional ground ball double plays in the first 2, then a strike him out, throw him out double play in this one. But Bryant walks for the second time. And here is Anthony Rizzo now with 2 away, and the Cubs leading 3-0. Seems like just yesterday we were interviewing Ryan Braun in the dugout in Maryvale. At spring training, we always like to kick the season off with a Braun or Lucroy interview. The top players on the team. And I remember the discussion with Ryan Braun this spring. The first question about his thumb, and he said, I don't have anything to report on my thumb. If I do, I'll let you know. It feels fine. And he had 1 injection this year. Had to break off in June to go have that cryotherapy injection on his thumb. He's got nerve damage in his thumb, but he came back. He said, I think this will last me the rest of the season, and it did.
And it did, yeah. Really wasn't much of an issue. There was about a week before he had that injection that it was an issue for him, but be the first time in a while he hasn't led the Brewers in home runs.
Yeah, Chris Davis, the home run leader this year. That's a strong showing, though, by Braun to come back, and as he mentioned, he made an all-star team, and
proven to baseball that he's still one of the best hitters in the game. All he went through back in 2012, and all the question marks about how he would go forward, and certainly answered all those questions very well this year.
Well, the Brewers need him. They need a bat like that. They need a presence, an all-star presence. Try to get Lucroy back and healthy, and Braun, the power of Chris Davis. I mean, the Brewers have weapons, offensive weapons. Now you're hoping a lot of these young pitchers can emerge. Rizzo rips one right center, but right there is Peterson. Hit it right on the line, but Peterson was playing in the gap a little bit. Rizzo is out. Inning is over. Still 3-0.
At Miller Park, last game of the year for Milwaukee. Hey, Brewers season seat holders enjoy the best seats at the lowest prices, plus a number of exclusive benefits not available to the general public. To place a deposit on 2016 ticket plan and guarantee the best seating location, visit brewers.com/season tickets.
Dan Herron back to work for the Cubs. We head to the bottom of the third. 3-0 Chicago. All three of those runs coming in the first inning. Gene Segura will lead off. Herron has retired the first 6 he has faced. And Segura, little flare. That's going to fall for a base hit. So the first one of the day for Milwaukee. Segura reaches to start the third inning.
It took the Brewers 5+ innings to get a hit yesterday. Now they're able to get one today in the third inning. Had a no-hitter yesterday, partner. Max Scherzer.
His second of the season. Now we have had no-hitters on the final day of the season the last 2 seasons. Washington National did it last year. Jordan Zimmerman, the Wisconsin native. Who's going to throw a no-hitter today? Let me see if there's any no-hitters going.
So that could be Dan Herron.
Well, last night, Scherzer facing the New York Mets, who have been no-hit twice this year. Our Columbia St. Mary's worth another look. And he broke Granderson's bat, and that's how it would end. And Max Scherzer with his second no-hitter of the season.
One of the few bright spots for the Nationals in September.
Maldonado skies one to left. And that'll be out number 1. Here's Jorge Lopez. It's been another good year for the pitcher this season with no hitters. Chris Heston threw the first no hitter. That's going to stay fair. Lopez will get the bunt down. That'll be a sacrifice. And Segura goes to second base. Heston no-hit the Mets at Citi Field.
Yeah, but no hit twice, but they're in the postseason.
Max Scherzer had a no-hitter against the Pirates on June 20th. And then did it again yesterday. Cole Hamels no-hit these Cubs. It's interesting, there's a theme developing with some of these no-hitters this year. So the Cubs got no hit. The Dodgers got no hit. The Mets got no hit. Pirates, these are all playoff teams.
All playoff teams, right? Yeah.
Hamels threw his no-hitter as a Philly at Wrigley Field.
That's a good trade-off. I'll get no hit, then go to the postseason.
No kidding.
Look at no hit twice. That's interesting.
You can almost draw the line for the Cubs offense after that no-hitter by Hamels on July 25th. They've been the best offense in the big league since that time. They've
wake
been
up call.
churning along.
A little wake up call, maybe, right?
Averaging about 6 runs a game. 2-0 pitch, and Jeanette sends one foul. Mike Fiers was traded from the Brewers to the Astros at the trade deadline, and 3 weeks later threw a no-hitter against the Dodgers. Fiers and Arrieta no-hit the Dodgers this year. So the Mets were no-hit twice, division champs. The Dodgers no-hit twice, division champs. Seven no-hitters this season, and 3 of them came in August.
Yeah, Brewers got no hit in what, 07, right, against Verlander in Detroit.
Yep, in Detroit, the first of 2 Verlander no-hitters of his career. I'll never forget that day. We had the great Ernie Harwell on our air that day in the middle innings. He came on and sat with us, and great man he was. Ernie Harwell, the great voice of the Detroit Tigers. Passed away a few years back. Saw him the next day. We said, Ernie, you got to come sign my scorebook. You were on our broadcast during a Tigers no-hitter. And he said, well, that'll teach you. Love that man.
Great man. Yep.
2-2 pitch in the dirt. And it goes to 3-2. Aaron gets a visit from his catcher, Miguel Montero. A lot of early scoring today. The games that matter. Angels are out in front of the Texas Rangers 2-1. And all of those runs came in the first inning. Angels got 2 in the first. Albert Pujols hit his 40th homer. And then the Rangers answered in the bottom of the first. The Diamondbacks scored early as well. Astros just tied it. So it's 1-1 bottom of the third inning.
Diamondbacks threatening, though. They got the bases loaded. Interesting in the American League, isn't it? That's the way it should be.
Jeanette draws a walk, and the Brewers put 2 on against Heron. That'll bring the tying run to the plate.
How many different scenarios are there in the American League?
It gets real simple with a Rangers win. They win the division. Astros go into the wild card. A Rangers loss and an Astros loss would force a tiebreaker between the Angels and the Astros, which could be tomorrow. That Major League Baseball announced that that game would start at 1:35 Central. Peterson deep into left field. That's over the head of Denorfia. Segura comes in. Scooter Gennett is on his way. Nope, that'll be a ground rule double.
And he'll get sent back.
So send him back.
And baseball, one hop over the wall, off the back wall. Shane Peterson putting a charge into the opposite field. Hit that one well. They had Denorfia playing shallow and left, not thinking he was going to do it, but a ground rule double, 1 run in, and the Brewers have men at second and third.
That actually hurts the Brewers. It looked like Jeanette would have had a chance to score. So instead of 2 runs in, it's an RBI double, 1 run in, and second and third for Adam Lind.
And a big 2-out base hit for the Brewers.
Brewers have 2 hits and a walk. Lind struck out looking in the first inning. I wouldn't imagine he'd be taking many pitches in this at bat. Lind a chance to give the Brewers the lead. A long ball here would give him 90 RBIs for the season. Sitting on 87 with 20 homers. Got an OPS around 850 this year. He's had a good year offensively. Brewers have an option on Lind that they can choose to pick up. That's a grounder. It's off the glove of Rizzo. Lind hustling to throw, and it is in time. Lind gave it all he had, but he's out. And the inning is over. The Brewers might want to take a look at this one here. No challenge coming. Inning over. Cubs lead at 3-1.
Miller Park, the Cubs with a 3-1 lead, and manager Craig Counsell addressing how the status of the division would impact the Brewers moving forward. And he said it's very clear that the Brewers play in the best division in all of baseball. He said there's the three organizations, the Cardinals, Pirates, and Cubs, that seem poised to sustain the success that they've had this season. But he said, really, this season is a good example that you can go into a season thinking you know what will happen, what teams will do, but really you just don't know how it will all play out over the course of the 162-game season. So he said the focus will be internal. He said it's tough to determine where you are in the competitive scale, so he doesn't anticipate that the standing of the division impacting their decision-making moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to get back to that 500 mark with the teams that they have to play. When you think about the Brewers, they have to play over 60 games against the Cardinals, Pirates, and Cubs, each and every year, the way the division matchups work out. You knew that Joe Madden was going to make a big impact on the Chicago Cubs, but you didn't realize it was going to be this big of an impact this quickly.
He has exceeded expectations, and the expectations were pretty lofty to start with, as Lopez strikes out Starlin Castro to start the fourth inning.
Good fastball up.
Lopez with his third K. Looking for that clean inning. He's gotten double plays in each of the first three innings. The Cubs scored 3 runs in the first inning. A hit batter, and then back-to-back walks, and then a 2 RBI single by Rizzo. So it all looks messy on paper, but if you go look at that inning, reconstruct that inning, first of all, the 2 walks to Coughlin and Bryant were borderline strikes, and probably, if he's not a rookie pitcher, he probably gets those calls. And then the base hit by Rizzo just snuck past Adam Lind over at first base on a 2-hopper.
Yeah, bottom line, a hit batter, 2 walks, end up scoring in the first inning. Another learning experience for these young Brewer pitchers. Base on balls will kill you.
Denorfia with a single and a big wide turn at first. So the Cubs with their 4th hit. There's a very small margin for error when you're pitching in the big leagues. I think that's probably the theme that all these rookie pitchers will carry into the offseason. A blink of an eye and you're down like that, 3-0.
Yeah, it happens quickly.
Jorge Lopez, the last of the 12 Brewers to make his major league debut this season. That was last Tuesday in San Diego. Today is his 2nd start. Ryan Braun mentioned it briefly, and we talked about it in Jorge's last start, but Jorge's son, Michael, has an unknown autoimmune disease, and he's 2 years old, and it's been a real struggle for him and Jorge. And that family has now moved Michael to Cincinnati, which is one of the top autoimmune clinics in the world. And so Michael's actually improving from what we understand. They're starting to get a little better handle on his genetic disease and starting to gain some weight. And you can imagine the weight on his mind trying to pitch, and not pitch in the big leagues, but try to go through the minor leagues. You're not making any money hardly in the minor leagues. And so these 2 weeks in the big leagues are going to be not just a career boost for him as he gets to pitch and experience the major leagues, but also a financial boost as he goes into the offseason to care for his son.
And no kidding. I mean, you're making almost a year's salary in a month in September. And Lopez hasn't been here the whole month, but still in all, that's a big shot in the arm for he and his family. Be able to pay some of those medical bills.
And maybe even more importantly, the major league insurance that players get for the off season once you make it to the major leagues. So I'm sure his mind is settled a little bit. I'm sure he didn't expect to be in the big leagues this year. He was just an A-ball last year and a full season in Double-A this season. So a success story on all fronts for Jorge Lopez. Adam McCalvey of Brewers.com wrote a beautiful story about Jorge and his son and their challenges. You can Google that. Go to the Brewers website and find it. It's a really beautifully written story and gives you a sense of the player off the field, not just on it.
A lot of guys have issues that they have to deal with, especially these kids from Latin America. You know, Jorge from Puerto Rico. You got these kids from the Dominican Republic and have a lot of things to deal with.
That gets by Segura into center field. And Denorfia is going to go to third. Montero finds a hole up the middle, and the Cubs catcher is 2 for 2. First and third with one away. Here's Addison Russell. We'll see if Lopez has one more double play in him. There has been one in every inning thus far. Russell shows bunt. Takes a strike.
Interesting way of squaring around that early. Just maybe trying to get a sense what the Brewers defense is doing.
What a talent Addison Russell has proved to be in the big leagues. Came to the Cubs from the Oakland Athletics last season. Cubs acquired Samardzija and Jason Hamill. Hamill actually returned to Chicago, while Samardzija ended up in Chicago with the White Sox. Shows bunt again. Maldonado blocks it. 2 balls and a strike now.
And this is exactly what the Cubs as a team were working on before yesterday's ball game. Bunt situations, runners on base, getting leads, reading bunts on the ground, and maybe Joe Maddon wants to see how his guys can respond. He's got a 2-run lead. Looks like Russell's trying to drop down a bunt and maybe advance a man over to second base, and then you have a man at third maybe reading that bunt. Denorfia at third with good speed. Trying to incorporate in the game what they were working on yesterday.
3-1 now.
Never too late to go over the fundamentals. Next to the last game of the season, Joe Maddon had his guys out there doing that.
And there's also a little bit of the, in order to not be overwhelmed or to be distracted by the bigness of the Chicago Cubs making the postseason, focus on the details. Madden's always been great about that. And all of his players were out there yesterday in line, the whole roster, bunting drills, working on sacrifice situations and squeeze bunt situations. Russell swinging away this time, and a pop up into shallow left. Segura's going back. He wants it, and he's got it for the out. So the second out. Good comeback there for Lopez. 2 gone with 2 on. And the pitcher Dan Herron is coming up.
Herron, an interesting at bat for Addison Russell right there. Not sure what they were doing. We were trying to guess what they were doing, but especially with the pitcher coming up, it was kind of an odd at bat.
We're going to have to go by and ask Joe Maddon after the game. He'll have a few minutes for us, I'm sure.
You going to do that?
Cubs are all packed up, ready to go somewhere. They know they're going back to Chicago today. That wild card game in the National League not until Wednesday, so their travel day will be Tuesday. And they may not have to make a trip. If the Reds beat the Pirates and the Cubs hang on to win here in Milwaukee, then that game's going to be at Wrigley.
Still 1-0 Pittsburgh, 4th inning.
Pirates have Jay Happ on the mound. Nice acquisition for Pittsburgh. Herron, a shot right to Segura. Soft liner for the final out, and another scoreless inning for Lopez. to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Cubs scored 3 in the first. They lead it 3-1. The Brewers got one in the third inning on a Shane Peterson RBI double. And here we go to the bottom of the fourth. Last day of the year, number 162. And there are a lot of games out there that have a lot on the line. Carsoup.com trivia today. Besides Arrieta, name the 4 pitchers to finish the season with at least 22 wins, no more than 6 losses, and an ERA below 2. That's how good Arrieta has been in the history of the game. 4 pitchers with those numbers. 3 others besides Jake Arrieta. Good question.
There's a lot to sift through right there.
Arrieta had the best second half of all time with a 0.41 ERA in his last 2 months, or since August 1st, and the best second half ever.
You notice the trivia questions on this homestand have been impossible. Nobody knows the answer to that.
But it's going to make a great talking point as Davis sends one to left field, and that's down. A base hit hits the wall. The Northfield will play it off the fence, and Chris Davis with a double. 16 doubles to go along with 27 homers.
They had a cut fastball. Davis able to wait back long enough. He didn't barrel it up. It was off the end just a little bit, but gives you a sense of how strong he is. That ball was hooking away from Denorfia. And a leadoff double. How about Bob Gibson? Is he the answer to one of them?
He's not in there. He's not in that group.
He had a 1.16.
Ground ball to short, and Santana's out.
1.12. I gypped him. No?
1968. Nope. Nope. These are all big names. These are all real big names, but hasn't happened since 1985. I'll give you that one. Here's Hernan Perez now.
How about the Gator? Is he one of them?
Mm-hmm. Yes, good one. Louisiana Lightning. Dan Herron and the Cubs leading 3-1. Perez at the plate, representing the tying run. Well, Hernan Perez is going to have a chance next spring to win a job at third base. If not that, he'd be a strong candidate as a utility player. He can play short. He's a shortstop by trade, actually. It's his natural position, but he can play third and second and first. All right, back to Herron, and now Davis going to be in a rundown. Davis got caught off the bag, and he's out for the second out. Base running mistake by Chris Davis.
And not only getting caught off, but not able to stay in the rundown long enough to get Perez over to second base. And just a little too anxious to go over to third base. And no chance. And see Herron doing the right thing, getting rid of it very quickly over to third base, and then get him on the rundown. First out of the inning, or actually second out.
That'll bring up Segura now. Yeah, it's quickly 0-2 on Segura. Gene had a single his last time up, started the third, and he scored the lone Brewers run. Cubs got 3 in the first. Rizzo drove in 2 with a single. Another one came in on a double play. Runner goes. Perez throw to second is late, and a stolen base for Hernan Perez. Puts a man in scoring position.
He doesn't steal a whole lot. Number 4 for him had kind of a walking lead. He was moving in that direction. Herod never slowed him down. He's able to make it safely. A base hit should score a run.
1-2 the count. And Segura, little flare in the right, coming in fast. Coughlin, he's got it for the out. That will end the inning. 4 in the books. Last day of the regular season. Cubs have a lead. '94 rivals. Hadn't been much to it this year. The Cubs have dominated the season series. They've won 13 out of 18. And our playoff bound. Here's Austin Jackson to start it. Jorge Lopez back out there to start his 5th inning of work. Could be his last inning. Pitch count at 77. He had a high pitch count in the first. As Jackson skies one to center field, that'll help. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Well, let him keep going. I mean, pitch count's in good shape. He's looking good. Take away that first inning, which you can't do. And just like his start against San Diego, he scattered 5 hits.
Was an outstanding volleyball player during his amateur days prior to focusing in on baseball, and those who knew him, those who saw him back then, said he could have easily gone and played high-level collegiate volleyball.
Tough to make a living doing that, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he made the right choice. Here he is in the big leagues. But his volleyball background actually comes into play. And his Double-A pitching coach, Chris Hook, who did an outstanding job this year for that Biloxi team. Talking about his athleticism, his awareness,
and the fact that he really hasn't been, throwing all that much. I mean, he's been able to split time between volleyball, baseball, and not a lot of mileage on that arm at this point. That's always a plus.
A young arm.
Yeah.
And he's a young guy, too, at 22. Just saw a note here that Clayton Kershaw, who is on the mound for the Dodgers today, just passed the 300 strikeout milestone. 300 strikeouts in a season.
Yeah.
Wow. Most since 2002. Ground ball to Lynn. Nice big hop for him. He'll take it himself. Coughlin is out. And 2 men are gone here in the 5th inning. Well, it's now time for you to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WishDanaStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in the broadcast today. It's the last one. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. It's been fun looking at all the pictures all season. Enjoying all those creative shots. It's been real fun looking at all the pictures that we couldn't put on the air.
Ones that only we get to see.
Here's Chris Bryant with 2 outs.
For your eyes only.
Now back to Kershaw, the last pitcher, or pitchers I should say, because it happened twice in the same season, was the Randy Johnson Kurt Schilling season of 2002. And they both had more than 300 strikeouts. Johnson had 334 strikeouts. Now in the Hall of Fame. Kershaw had a 1.39 ERA in his last 24 starts. Like Arrieta, had a dominant finish to the season. And if you go into the metrics a little bit, some of the deeper analytics, Kershaw becomes a much stronger Cy Young Award candidate. In that what many feel will be a 2-horse race between Arrieta and Greinke. Three-one pitch. Bryant breaks his bat. That's going to fall. A base hit. On base for the 3rd time today.
And it still hasn't had a clean inning. Jorge Lopez has given up at least 1 hit in each inning. But this base hit coming with 2 outs and nobody on.
And here's Anthony Rizzo. Bryant snapping an 0 for 13 with that single. Rizzo has been up there with men on all night, all day. Drove in 2 in the 1st inning. That was on a 2-strike pitch. He had a single to right. A ground ball that found the hole between 1st and 2nd. He lined out in the 3rd with the runner on. Pirates have taken a 2-0 lead over the Reds. Pedro Alvarez just hit a home run into the Allegheny River in the 4th inning. 2-0 Pittsburgh. Number 27 for Alvarez. They had that measured at 479 feet, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, man.
He can hit them.
Wow.
Strikes out a lot, makes a lot of errors, but he can hit homers. That's why he's in the lineup, right?
The bat plays, especially the power bat.
Yeah.
In Arlington, the Angels still lead the Rangers 2-1. That's in the bottom of the 5th. Angels have to win, and the Astros have to lose for them to have a chance at a tiebreaker, and that is happening now. The Diamondbacks lead the Astros 2-1 in the top of the 5th. Rizzo, opposite field, playable for Davis. And that'll retire the side. So Jorge Lopez, he's had men on, but he's been good since that 1st inning. Still 3-1 Cubs.
3-1, and fans, players, and other supporters throughout the Milwaukee community have been very generous throughout the 2015 season. The Brewers Community Foundation has surpassed all of its goals and is incredibly thankful for everyone's support. Countless individuals and families have benefited and received support in the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. So they want to thank the fans for joining us all season long, working hard to make a difference for others in the local community.
All right, Sophia, thanks. And thanks to Sophia. Great work all season long. Sophia and Telly are fantastic reporters. Well done, you two. Maldonado grounds out.
Nice addition.
That doesn't mean you can't stop working, Sophia. We just wanted to publicly thank you and all the great work that you did and all the hustle you showed this year. Well done.
It sounded like you were telling her she can go home.
No, you need to. She's got a lot of work to do still.
Well, thank you guys for just letting me be a part of it, being good teachers, being good teammates. So thank you for just letting me be part of this.
She's humble like that. It doesn't even work that way.
I know.
She bosses us around all day, tells us all the stories, what we need to talk about. Like we have anything to do with her being here. We should be thanking her for letting us be here.
Be a part of giving us some airtime.
Luis Sardinas will pinch hit here for
the Brewers. It really is a good group that we have going here, though, isn't it? I mean, you know, in the truck and, you know, the on air, you know, Davey and Craig and Augie. A lot of fun to be with these guys at home.
We all get along. We all respect each other, love each other, and help each other out. That's what a good team is, and it's been great fun again this year. Fly ball to left. Out number 2. Our terrific producers, the Golden Boy and the Big Dog, Brent Reeland, Brad Weimer. Our director, Mark Vittorio. Thanks to Renardo Lowe, filled in on occasion this year. The Brewers and the Bucks have a new director in the mix, Adam Bryant III. He's going to be a great addition as well, so he'll handle most of the Bucks season. We wish Mark Vittorio, our director, the best. He's on his way back to Dallas to pick up with the Dallas Stars. We like to call it his off-season work. Jeanette skies one to Russell. That was a quick inning. Herron just blows right through the Brewers' order in the 5th. 3-1 Cubs. We go to the 6th inning at Miller Park. We're on our way to the 6th now. And our Carsoup.com trivia. Besides Arrieta, named the 4 pitchers to finish the season with at least 22 wins, no more than 6 losses, and an ERA below 2. And these are all big names here. Sandy Koufax, one of the greatest left-handers of all time. Denny McLain, 1968, the year of the pitcher. Koufax and McLain were also MVP winners that year. Ron Guidry, Louisiana Lightning, 1978, and then Doc Gooden,
Yeah.
85 Mets.
Then McClain, last 30-game winner in the big leagues.
Yeah, that was 68. That was he was the top American League pitcher, and then Bob Gibson had the 1.12 ERA in the National League that year. And they lowered the mound after that season
because of them.
Here's Jonathan Barrios. He will pitch in relief for Jorge Lopez, who was pinch hit for last inning.
Yeah, he's opening up some eyes as this young man. Barrios last pitched on Thursday against the Padres. Scoreless inning, good fastball, very good changeup.
Barrios coming to the Brewers from the Pirates in the Aramis Ramirez deal. He has only been pitching 3 years. This is his 3rd season as a pitcher, and he's already made his way to the big leagues.
You have an infielder from 2009 to 2012 in the Pirate organization. Amazing.
Has a big arm, but he's been able to add some pitching to his throwing skills, right? He's been able to master that changeup to a level where he can make it to the big leagues. He's been lights out here in Milwaukee. Craig Counsell was just raving about Barrios the other day in San Diego. That's the kind of impression you want to leave with a manager as he powers that one right by Castro at 96 miles an hour.
Yep, down in the zone over the middle. He's had a lot of young players to look at. Remains to be seen which one of these young guys is going to be around next year. Got to believe there's going to be deals to be made in the offseason. We had Mark Atanasio on last night. He told us don't count out free agency.
Yeah. Well, he's the one who sets the budget. So
right, yeah.
If he's not counting them out, then we won't.
Never know. Might pick up couple of free agents. Not the high priced ones, but bring some players over with some big league experience.
3-2 the count, and a swing and a pop up into shallow right field. Peterson hauls it in for the first out. Well, what do we think about Jorge Lopez, Rock? We saw him twice. He had a great year in Double-A, was the pitcher of the year in the Brewers system, and his 2 big league starts goes exactly 5 innings and exactly 3 earned runs.
Well, the one thing we know about him is he doesn't panic with men on base, because in each of his 2 starts there's a lot of men on base in both starts. In both of those games, able to get out of a mess. A couple of double play balls helped him. He's shown a very good curveball today, a much better curveball today than his first start in San Diego. But you would figure that. You would figure he was a little bit excited in that first start. It was a little bit tough to throw that off-speed stuff when you're a little amped up.
Seems to have great poise. Didn't panic at all in either of his 2 starts with early deficits and traffic on the bases. He could have been out in the first inning today.
Yeah. Got squeezed a little in the first.
Yeah. Well, think about it. He had 22 pitches and did not have an out. And so there's about, 10, 12 pitches remaining before they make a move. They're never going to leave a rookie pitcher out there for 35, 40 pitches in the first inning. 2 up, 2 down for Jonathan Barrios. Final numbers for Jorge Lopez. 5 innings, 93 pitches, 3 earned runs, and 2 big league starts under his belt as he hits the offseason.
Almost identical to his first start.
His first start against San Diego had a lot more strikeouts, had 7 strikeouts and 2 walks, but gave up 3 earned runs on 8 hits in 5 innings and got the win.
And a much better offense he was dealing with here today.
Miguel Montero with 2 away. Rock, we have another no-hitter watch. Is it going to be 3 straight years with a no-hitter on the last day of the season?
About that, huh? Washington again.
Bartolo Colon of the Mets is throwing a no-hitter against Washington.
No score in the game, though.
Scoreless game, bottom of the 6th inning. Colon DeGrom started that game. Now Cologne is extending it. Yeah, they had DeGrom out there for a tune-up. He's getting game 1 Friday against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. He went 4 no-hit innings. Cologne a no-hit inning. Verrett a no-hit inning.
They start talking about it around the 6th. Don't get too excited about until then.
Fly ball to center. Santana's got it to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Jonathan Barrios. 5 2/3 innings in the big leagues. 0 runs.
Game of the season 2015, and Cubs with a 2-run lead. Hey, Brewers on deck. 2016 is Sunday, January 31st at the Wisconsin Center. If you purchase tickets by December 1st, you'll get a free ticket voucher good for a select 2016 April home game. For details, visit brewers.com/on-deck.
Shane Peterson will lead off for the Brewers. 6th inning, down 2. At the plate, presented by Wendy's. Peterson responsible for the only run on the board. Had a ground rule double. Caught a bit of a bad break, actually. That ball bounced out. If it had hit the wall and stayed in play, he likely would have had 2 RBIs on that one.
And if he hit it further, it would have been 3 RBIs.
That's true. There's a lot of ifs. A lot of ifs.
A double's a double, though. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, right?
That's a good one.
Every day be Christmas.
A called strike 3. Peterson rung up again.
Same pitch he got him on the first time up. A 2-seam fastball coming to catch the inside corner.
3rd strikeout for Herron. A lot of movement on that pitch. That's in the exact same location, which according to Fox Tracks is not a strike. But Peterson buckled by that pitch, couldn't pull the trigger.
And pretty much the same location on the pitch that Chris Bryant walked on in the first inning.
Good point, Rock.
Bring it full circle.
There's a strike. Adam Lynn was called out on a pitch outside the strike zone. That was what was so frustrating about the first inning. Lopez was actually pitching pretty well in that first inning as Lynn flies out. He was working the corners. He didn't get a call. There were back-to-back walks in that inning. And then the next inning, And then the second inning, there was some pitches a little bit out of the strike zone that Lopez didn't get that Herron got, and that had the Brewers bench a little angry.
And the play-by-play man a little bit irritated. I like to see that feistiness last game of the season.
Davis into center field, going back. Jackson with just enough room to make the catch. 3 up, 3 down. Herron has retired 9 straight.
I never saw one of those before. Are they new?
They must be. Take a bite out of it. Marshfield Clinic leaders in relief. Looking at relievers this season for the Brewers. Will Smith's going to lead the Brewers in games pitched this year. Jeremy Jeffress up over 70 as well. Got a cheese baseball cap.
We've seen those before.
It's pretty cool. I'm in for the cheese sombreros though, especially when they're doubled up like that. Jonathan Barrios back out there for his second inning of work. He has been impressive. Has not allowed a run in the big leagues. Has gone multiple innings on a few occasions.
Man, you like the way he just goes out there and throws strikes, not afraid to pitch the contact. He's got enough on it to be able to jam hitters, get it by him. He's got that changeup to go with it. Doesn't mess around.
97 on the outer half that missed. Oh, 2 to Russell, and a little tapper back to the mound. Barrios underhands it to first for the first out. He's retired 4 in a row. All right, Rock, it's the last one. As promised earlier, we have selected the final Data Strong fan photo of the game. It comes to us from Tamara. I believe that's Brandon Kinsler, is it not?
It is.
Tamara made it in. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. Thanks for everyone who sent their photos in this year.
Pretty cozy picture, huh?
Got a pinch hitter here for the Cubs, Tommy La Stella. He will bat for Herron. Herron goes 6 innings with 3 hits and 1 run. In line for the win. La Stella down 0-2. That no-hitter in New York, that combined no-hitter by the Mets, that's in the 7th inning now. Still no score. Jonathan Neese is the 4th Mets pitcher on the mound.
How about that doubleheader that the Cardinals have to wear today?
Well, you know, you win 100 games, You ought to have to play a doubleheader on the last day of the season.
Atlanta beat him 6-0 in the first game.
Second game's 1-0, as you just saw. Braves have a lead in the fourth. Now, Lackey took the loss in the first game. Shelby Miller, the former Cardinal, got the win there. So the Cardinals could still win 101. Only team to triple digits this season. Will finish with the best record in the big leagues by far. Team with the next most wins. Actually, the two teams with the next most wins are the Pirates and the Cubs in their own division. Pirates leading 2-0 in the sixth inning. Looking for win number 98. And the Cubs here with a win would go to 97 and 65. First time ever best three records in baseball have been in the same division. So you can say the National League Central's the best division ever.
Yeah.
At least with the top three teams. No third place team has ever won 96 games.
And when you consider that all three of those teams have to play the three best team or the two best teams in the league. It's not easy to win that many games, you know, in a tough division like that. Cubs play the Cardinals and Pirates a bunch.
Now this is the 19th matchup between the Brewers and the Cubs. It's usually around 18 or 19. For division opponents. La Stella bounces to Lynn. And he'll take it himself. 2 up, 2 down.
Of course, the Pirates have a losing record against the Central.
That's what's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh against the Central Division is 9 games under 500. They dominated the West in the National League and dominated the NL East.
And interleague play 13-7.
Tell you that wild card game is going to be epic, I think. Garrett Cole and Jake Arrieta. Those are two horses. And the Cardinals are smiling all the way to the division series because they don't have to see either one of those in game one. I wouldn't imagine, depending on how the game goes, but you wouldn't see whoever wins the wild card game. You wouldn't see that top pitcher until game 3. Unless you brought him back on short rest.
Yeah.
1-1 pitch. And Jackson fouls it back. 1-2 the count. The Texas Rangers have regained the lead, Rock. Adrian Beltre proving to be clutch once again. Hit a 2-run home run in the 5th inning to give Texas a 3-2 lead. Man, that guy just gets better with age.
Something, isn't he? And he can pick it. Good defender.
Cole Hamels still on the mound in that game. He's through 7 now with 2 earned runs. He's pitching like an ace for the Rangers today in a must-win scenario for Texas if they want to win the division. They could also win the division with an Astros loss. Astros Diamondbacks are tied at 2 in the 5th. The other interesting part in the American League, the Yankees are losing today 5-1. They could lose home field advantage for the wild card game.
Yeah.
So if the Rangers win, that'll either be the Astros or the Angels in the wild card game. They'd have to play a tiebreaker in one scenario, but they would get to host the wild card play-in game.
The Yankees had it right where they wanted it. They've lost 2 in a row, looking to lose their 3rd straight.
Yeah, that one's in the 5th inning. Baltimore up 5-1. I'm always amazed at baseball. It happens so often that you play a full 162 game schedule and there are always seedings and playoff spots to be determined on the last day. Seems like every year that's the case.
Good for the game, though.
Yeah, it is.
Really good.
Two and two to Jackson. Barrios struck him out. A changeup, a 9-pitch at bat. And Jonathan Barrios, 6 up, 6 down, 2 scoreless. Could be his final 2 innings in the big leagues this year. 7th inning stretch. We invite you to join our friends over in the control room here at Miller Park. Their presentation of God Bless America. Enjoy, everyone.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Day of the regular season today, number 162. How about our game summary? It's brought to you by Honda. And it was Anthony Rizzo driving in 2 in the first inning to give the Cubs the lead. RBIs number 100 and 101 for Rizzo. Starlin Castro bounced into a double play that allowed Bryant to score, and a 3-0 start for the Cubs. The Brewers answered with 1 in the 3rd, but we sit at 3-1 Chicago, bottom of the 7th inning. Rizzo has had a big series and a big year, and in a non-Bryce Harper season he might have had a chance to win an MVP. Here's Domingo Santana to start it. New pitcher rock is Justin Grimm, who will be a big part of Joe Madden's late inning relief in the postseason.
You see his numbers. Outstanding work out of Grimm. He throws hard, you know, in the upper 90s with some movement on it. Good slider. Doesn't mess around. Goes right after you. A pretty good winning scenario bullpen, you know, for the Cubs. The guys are pretty good.
We got Justin Grimm, Fernando Rodney, Pedro Strop, and their closer Hector Rondon. who saved the game last night. A 1-0 victory for the Cubs. Rondon saved his 30th.
Yeah, Grimm's first appearance in the series, last pitched on the first against Cincinnati. Tossed a scoreless inning.
1-2 pitch. Santana takes low. 2-2. Domingo has accomplished a lot this year. Made it back to the big leagues with a new organization after being traded from the Astros. Homered in his first game. Line drive to left field in Washington, D.C.
And most of his other home runs have gone into center or to right center, so hasn't pulled too many. Got good opposite field power.
Has not homered since the 19th of September, though. He's been on a little bit of a swoon here at the end of the year. But overall numbers from all of his stops, minor leagues and major leagues, massive. 26 homers and 93 RBIs. Grimm strikes him out for the first out of the 7th inning. Brewers have not had a base hit since the 4th inning.
That leadoff double by Chris Davis.
10 in a row retired by the Cubs pitchers. Hernan Perez. I don't want to overlook what Jonathan Barrios did this year in his brief time in the big leagues. He didn't give up a run.
He looks good. I mean, he attacks the strike zone. He doesn't mess around with the corners too much, and he's still learning how to pitch. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's pitched for 3 years. 6 2/3 scoreless innings for him. He was a position player, an infielder until the end of 2012.
It's those multi-inning outings too that are so impressive.
You come in, young kid, throwing strikes with that kind of velocity, you're going to get a pretty good look next year in spring training.
Jonathan Barrios, 6 2/3, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts in the major leagues this season. And Counsell put him into some pretty tight spots as well. Came in after the Brewers had taken the lead on Tuesday in San Diego. More of in a leverage role, setup role. That's the way you want to do it. I'm sure he's on the radar now going into spring training next year. Late inning velocity and relief is always something organizations are trying to assemble. Perez rolls one foul.
And the more big arms you can have out in that bullpen, the better off you are. And that seems to be the trend in baseball. You don't see too many control pitchers. There are some, the big sinker, the ground ball pitchers, but a lot of organizations are loading up with 94 to 97 mile an hour pitchers. Barrios fits that bill.
And the difference maker for him, he has an excellent changeup. 2-2 to Perez. Grimm delivers it, and it's down and away. The no-hitter watch is over. Nationals finally got a hit in the 7th, but the game is still scoreless. Every game doesn't mean anything. Dodgers have already won the home field in that matchup between Dodgers Mets. Diamondbacks have scored. They now lead the Astros 3-2. And the Rangers still lead the Angels 3-2. If those scores hang on as they are, with Texas winning and Houston losing, then the Angels are out. It'll be Texas winning the division, the Astros the wild card team. And it means that wild card game would be in New York, even with a Yankee loss. Now, if the Astros win, then the Astros would host that game. 9th pitch of the at-bat to Perez. He's hanging tough.
Tough on the traveling secretaries, isn't it? The directors of team travel around the American League. They're not sure where they're going. You know, Cubs, Pirates are not sure what's going on, whether they're going to be home or on the road. Just get the plane gassed up and get it ready. You never know.
I'll tell you where we're going when we get up there. Perez draws the walk. 10-pitch at bat, resulting in a walk. Well done. And now the Brewers bring the tying run to the plate. Gene Segura will bat. No change in that Pirates-Reds game yet. Still bottom 6. Pirates lead at 2-0. Feel like some pitching changes are occurring there. Got in the bottom of the 6 for a little bit. Jay Happ still on the mound. Actually, he's got a shutout going through 6 innings. Reds have made some pitching changes. 2 of them.
How many times has Joey Votto walked today?
Excellent question. Rock? The answer would be 1.
Okay.
He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Chance to turn it here. And a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Grimm holds serve. Cubs still lead 3-1. Go to the 8th. Milwaukee Honda dealers. And a crowd of nearly 33,000 on hand the final day of the season. The Brewers draw over 2.5 million this year, which is impressive when you consider this team is 68-93. A lot of Cubs fans in the ballpark today, understandably so. But a great year at the turnstiles for the Brewers, and let's hope this ball club can respond next year and put a better show on for him. It's going to be David Goforth on the mound for the Brewers.
And 20th appearance for Goforth. He's been up and down quite a bit this year for Milwaukee. 4th stint with the Brewers. Last pitched on Friday. Gave up a run in an inning and 2/3 of work. 4 hits. So David Goforth, his first taste in the big leagues. A lot of major league debuts for this Brewers roster this year. Tons. Was it 12?
Yeah, 12 of them. And Goforth was the first to make his major league debut. Goforth made his debut against the Giants on May 26th out of the bullpen. 3 pitchers who made their debuts this year won in their debuts. Lopez and Ariel Pena and Taylor Youngman. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and Goforth has a win.
Goforth got his first win in that great comeback last Sunday in St. Louis, that grand slam by Rogers, that 7-run inning. Goforth was the pitcher of record for that one. And then he put on a green Caterpillar suit. As the Brewers dressed up all their rookies.
Yeah, all 17 of them.
An Alice in Wonderland motif. I think Goforth actually, he got the best one because he was all covered up with a green Caterpillar. The others had lots of skin showing.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
For all of us. And for them too. There's a shot, a base hit. Coughlin into right field.
And the interesting thing about that, you know, after the plane landed in San Diego, loaded up on the bus, the veteran guys had the players bus stop about 5 blocks from the hotel, made them walk. Then they all went out to dinner in their costumes.
Oh, that's good. Quentin Berry will pinch run for Coughlin as Chris Bryant will bat.
Kyle Loesch always the one behind most of those hijinks. Then the veterans take them all out to dinner. That's a yearly occurrence, but you don't normally have 17 guys dressed up like that.
Did they do that when you played?
No.
When did that start, I wonder? I wonder who the godfather of the dress up the rookies bit was.
Not sure.
Runner goes. Berry from his knees. Maldonado's throw. The tag too high. And a stolen base for Quentin Berry. It's exactly what Joe Madden wanted to see out of Berry.
Yep. Well, that's why he put him out there. Steal a base. Pretty good throw. A little high from Maldonado from his knees. And Berry just able to beat it at second base. Greg Counsell won't take a look at it.
Berry has been a part of the postseason twice, with the Tigers in 2012 and with the Red Sox in 2013, and both of those teams made it into the World Series.
Pretty good jump. Yep, he's safe.
Yeah, he's in there. Berry has been on those postseason rosters to do just that, steal bases. Has 5 career playoff stolen bases and actually has a stolen base in a World Series. He was on that World Series winning Red Sox team. Chris Bryant on base all 3 times today. Snapped an 0 for 13 at the plate with a single in the 5th inning. I was looking at Berry's stolen base to caught stealing in his major league career, so he could add one to it now. He has 27 stolen bases in his big league career. He's been caught once.
Yeah, he can run. Good work if he can find it.
One time. And that was earlier this year with the Cubs as Bryant on base again. 3rd walk of the game for Bryant. And here comes Rizzo, who could deliver a knockout punch here.
Now Chris Bryant is probably going to end up with just 99 RBIs on the year. He would have liked to get that round number of 100. He had his opportunities, particularly yesterday. Big difference, isn't it? Saying 99 or 100.
It's only 1 RBI, but it just visually looks so.
Makes a difference.
So much of a difference.
Makes a difference to the players too.
Prince Fielder ended up with 99 one year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Rizzo at the plate, 2 on, nobody out. And that one's hit hard right center field, and again Peterson will run it down. Berry tags, goes to 3rd base.
They got it down on the end. He's had a couple of near misses today. A base hit to right, a couple of RBIs, and a couple of near misses, a couple of flyouts. Just missed that one.
first and third with one away for Starlin Castro.
Let's see what Joe Madden does this time. Remember last time Madison Russell was up with runners at first and third and one out. He's messing around trying to bunt. Ended up popping up.
Well, the Brewers have 3 double plays today. They had one in each of the first 3 innings in this game. Castro bounced into a double play in the first that allowed Braun to score the 3rd run. No RBI for Castro. And he shows bunts it foul.
And once again, trying to steal a run, drop down a bunt. You have a guy with good speed at third base. If he reads it properly, it's going to be an easy run. Much safer of the two, the suicide squeeze where the runner takes off right away, but the safety squeeze, read the bunt and then take off.
Runner goes, ball on the ground. Perez coming home. The tag is in time. He got him. Catch and release was quick for Hernan Perez. And the Brewers cut down a potential run at the plate.
Yeah, but a perfect throw to home plate. Not a very good jump by Barry. Kind of read it a little bit late. Perfect throw. Maldonado not blocking off home plate until he has the baseball. Well done on both ends.
Couldn't have a better throw. That throw put Maldonado in a perfect position to not only make a catch, it was firm, but also in a position to protect himself. It's those high throws that get you in trouble.
Yeah, high throws like that on close plays at home plate are the ones that get you hurt.
Here's Denorfia now with 2 away. First and second for the Cubs.
And Maldonado noticing that Adam Lind holding the runner on. Runners at first and second. Not sure why Lind is holding the runner at first. Catchers are very observant. You ever noticed?
Probably the smartest athletes in all sports, wouldn't you say, Rock?
Right up there with quarterbacks.
Tools of brilliance.
Maybe throw left tackles in there. Athletic and smart.
I mean, if you're talking about a race for second, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Point guards.
Yep. Selfish, unselfish players.
Goalies. That's the grouping that goes for the race for the second place, second smartest. Catchers by far and away have that one wrapped up. 1-2, go for it. The chance to get out of this inning. 2 on, 3-1 Cubs. Got him. Go for it. Strikes him out. Inning over. Brewers down 2. See if they can give them a comeback here today at Miller Park.
post game, and one of the subjects we're going to be talking about is the pitching situation with Milwaukee, especially futuristically. Lopez, decent showing out in his second big league start here today, guys. But also look at Jonathan Barrios, 2 very strong innings of relief. And Davey, this whole picture is becoming a little bit deeper and deeper for this club.
Well, it certainly is, and I'll tell you what, I like Barrios. What a nice arm. Comes out very fluidly. Great changeup, and that 95-plus fastball. Hey, he's there for me.
You know, the one thing he does, he's very aggressive. The one thing you want out of a guy who come out of bullpen, you want him someone who comes in, throws strikes, and is aggressive in strike zone with all his pitches. Barrios has done that several times he's been out there.
All right, we're going to get some fond memories of 2015 from these two guys as well, BA. So lots to stick around for. Also hear from Craig Counsell, and you guys are going to chip in as well on our post game from the booth. Correct? You're
That's
not coming
right.
out here tonight?
We have a big money moment here tonight that we have to
We've got 2 extra chairs out here. It's a big set.
Thanks all year.
Door nerves, everything's out here.
Don't do it. Last time I was out there with 4 guys, I had the mini chair.
They see the changes for the Cubs. And Neil Ramirez is on the mound. Good work all year by Craig Kershaw. Outstanding at what he does. And Jerry Augustine and Davey Nelson. Thanks to Jeff Grayson as well when the Brewers are on the road. Kershaw in a class by himself.
He's a pro.
For post-game host.
And you know what? He's a snappy dresser. Always looks good out there, doesn't he?
Coming down to the end here in 2015. Martin Maldonado, he's had a couple of big moments this season. 2 walk-off home runs. Had one on Mother's Day and one on Memorial Day. That one he had on Memorial Day in the 17th inning. That'll go down as one for the all-time highlight reel for Maldonado.
No kidding, huh?
Not only did he end the game, he caught all 17 innings of that game. May 31st. Had that walk-off on Mother's Day as well with his mom in the stands. Cool moment for him.
Well, getting a lot of playing time at the end of the season with Lucroy still battling those concussion symptoms. He's good enough to play. Brewers have elected not to have him catch anymore, though.
Line drive out for Maldonado.
And he's been swinging the bat pretty well to end the season. Got another year on his 2-year contract coming up next year.
And from the backup catcher to the starting catcher, Jonathan Lucroy.
Speaking of Luke,
Lucroy pinch hitting. Now it's going to be important for the Brewers if they are going to fight their way back. Braun and Lucroy have to be a part of it, you figure. Lucroy with injuries. Had a concussion. Braun is headed for back surgery.
Yeah, 2 injuries for Jonathan Lucroy. They're unavoidable. I mean, there's nothing you can do to prevent those types of things. A broken toe and a concussion. It's the way it goes.
Lucroy missed 38 games with the broken toe earlier in the season. That was in April and leading into May. Lucroy playing in game number 103. The last couple of weeks here, he's been mostly pinch hitting. That concussion he suffered in Miami in September, Brewers didn't put him on the disabled list, so no DL register there. Didn't need to with expanded rosters, but knocked him out for a couple of weeks. So it was important for him to get back and swing the bat a little bit and prove that he has his faculties, and they'll go into the offseason and he'll hope for a healthy season next season. Aside from what happened on the field, Jonathan Lucroy continues to be the best in all of baseball in the community, specifically with military charities. He's the Brewers nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. And I'm not sure I've ever seen a player quite like Lucroy.
No, he's something. He's going on an honor flight trip on November 7th. Yeah, local veterans are going to go down to D.C.
Yeah, support that cause if you can. Check them out. Honor Flight, Wisconsin. They do a great job there. Our buddy Karen Relke. And Lucroy went on one last year, and he's going on another one. And there are all of the charitable events he is a part of publicly, and then there are equally as many that we don't even know about, that we find out about the next year. As Lucroy, in his final at bat of the season, is out on strikes.
Got him on a breaking pitch. Throws him out on a slider that time.
And 2 outs. Scooter Gennett coming up.
Yeah, Luke, a finalist in the Roberto Clemente Award, so you got to vote for Luke. That will be announced during the World Series. Certainly deserving.
Checked his swing. Scooter Gennett. Brewers down 2. Cubs win and a Pirates loss. They will host, but it's not looking that way right now. Pittsburgh has a 4-0 lead over the Reds. Bottom of the 7th inning. They are 6 outs away from hosting the wild card game for the 3rd consecutive season. And they've got big Jake Arrieta coming their way. Garrett Cole will pitch for the Pirates.
Arrieta should be pretty well rested. He didn't throw too many pitches on Friday here at Miller Park. Picked up a win. What was it, 74 pitches? Something along those lines. Yeah, so not a big workload his last time out.
It was easy for him in his 6 shutout innings. Arrieta threw just 72 pitches on Friday night. Got the win, his 22nd. That is the premier weapon, in my opinion, in all of the postseason.
Still refuses to smile. I haven't seen him smile yet this year. He's locked in with a uniform on. He doesn't mess around.
Gennett grounds to third base, and that will end the inning. 1, 2, 3. We go to the 9th. Last inning of the season, perhaps. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. With producer Brad Weimer, director Mark Vittorio, and our terrific Fox Sports Wisconsin crew here at Miller Park. Welcome you back. 9th inning, last inning perhaps of the season, the regular season. Will Smith is on one last outing, which will give him 76 games this season, which will put him in a tie for third most in the National League in games pitched.
Yeah, pitched last night and tossed a scoreless 7th inning, a couple of walks, but a strikeout. Yeah, walked the first 2 batters that he faced, but able to get out of it without a run scoring.
And he's facing Miguel Montero. Cubs scored 3 runs in the first inning. The first 3 batters of the game all reached and all scored. And that has held up. Brewers got their run in the 3rd inning on a Shane Peterson double. 3-1 in the 9th. The Texas Rangers are pouring it on. They took a lead in the 5th inning. They have scored 6 runs in the 7th and still batting. They lead 9-2. And it looks like a division title for the Texas Rangers. Go figure.
Yeah, from nowhere.
In July, as Smith strikes out Montero. Back in July, the Texas Rangers were closer to last than they were first. Here they are as division champs once again.
Tight division. Says 2 things to you, right? Weren't that far out of it. They played well, but they were bunched up pretty tightly. Been a lot of zeros on the scoreboard here at Miller Park last couple of days. Cubs with 1 run last night. Brewers shut out. The Cubs and Brewers have only scored in 3 different half innings last 2 games.
And the Brewers have only scored 2 runs in these 3 games. In 26 innings. Slow curve in there for a strike. I want to thank all the ushers, all the ballpark employees putting in the long hours, parking attendants. Your work is greatly appreciated here, helping keep order on our security department. High volume.
Yep, seems like the screening process went pretty well. First year that every fan had to go through the metal detectors, and pretty flawless work by all the folks that are working here at the ballpark.
Gotta send our thanks to some individuals who work in the broadcasting department as well. Our bosses, of course, Tyler Barnes and Alita Mercer, but Tim Shea and Pat Nenow doing great work this year. Swing and a miss, but it gets by Maldonado. Russell will make first base on a wild pitch, a strikeout and a wild pitch.
Well, you don't see that very often. One getting between the legs of Maldonado on a 3rd strike. And of all the things that happen to a catcher, that burns him up more than anything, allowing a runner to reach after a strikeout. A little bit late getting down and wait through the legs.
So Javier Baez will bat for the first time. And a big swing and a miss from Baez.
Guy takes a hack. He doesn't shorten up with 2 strikes.
Shattered that bat. A funny sound to it. Is it broken or is
it broke?
Yeah, but the whole bat is intact.
Like
Broke right in the hand.
Yeah, like the old days, where they don't just shatter and blow up in pieces all over the place.
I was looking for the other piece and I never saw it.
There's a little shrapnel flying out.
That's got to hurt.
Doesn't hurt so much at Miller Park. Nice and warm in here. Wrigley Field today, it would hurt.
0-2 the count on Baez. Strike call. Down he goes.
Will Smith has a chance to strike out 4 guys this inning.
3 Ks. Russell reached on a wild pitch on a strikeout. That would tie a record. Trying to finish with a bang. Now looking ahead to the Brewers' 9th inning. Peterson, Lind, and Davis. Austin Jackson takes a strike. Well, with the Rangers blowing out the Angels now, really all that matters is home field advantage in the wild card game in the American League. Barring a couple of comebacks in our game and in the Pirates-Reds game. If Houston, who has just now tied it against Arizona, if they come back and win that game, they will host the wild card game Tuesday. They got Dallas Keuchel on the mound, who's most likely going to win the Cy Young Award in the American League.
Man, Dallas Keuchel did not lose a game at home this year. That makes a difference.
Big difference. Astros desperately need to win that one so they can have a home game in Houston. AL wildcard game will be on ESPN Tuesday. NL wildcard game on TBS Wednesday. And then Fox will have the American League Division Series. Swing and a miss. Will Smith strikes out 4. Ties a record. Last inning of the year for him. How about that? We go to the bottom of the 9th. Brewers down 2. They trail by 2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Our Miller Lite, what's on tap? Opening day 2016. Put it on your calendar. Monday, April 4th.
Yep.
First pitch will be at 1:10. You know, we'll have all the festivities here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Madison
Giants.
Bumgarner against who? What do you think?
I don't know.
Who's it going to be?
Who's it going to be? I don't know. I can't make that call. I cannot make that call. As much as I'd love to. Michael Reed's going to lead off here for the Brewers. And Travis Wood is on the mound for the Cubs. Trying to finish this one off. Will Smith tying a major league record with 4 consecutive strikeouts in an inning.
Yep. Now, Wood making his 54th appearance. He did make a spot start on September 12th against the Phillies. 3 innings, no runs. Yeah, Wood last pitched a couple of days ago right here against Milwaukee. A scoreless inning. That was Friday. Good numbers for Wood. More strikeouts than innings pitched.
Michael Reed made his major league debut against St. Louis September 26. Had been in Double-A Biloxi. One of the 6 to get called up from that terrific team in Double-A, and Reed showing himself well this season.
How about a comeback today?
That'd be nice. Good way to finish the season.
Send the Cub home fans upset.
There's a strike. And a swing and a miss. 2-2 the count. Pirates and Reds have gone to the top of the 8th inning. 4-0 still. Pittsburgh has a lead there. Two and Reed, a little pop up, foul territory. Rizzo makes a catch. I tell you, this guy, he's an athlete. He's a big guy, but light on his feet. You see how he stutter step to a stop right there at the rail to make the catch. I'm sure the Cubs had their hearts in their throats right there as their best hitter is on their way to the railing.
Yeah, no kidding, but he is certainly shown to be a very good defender. Maybe the best first baseman we've seen in the National League this year. Trying to think about who might be up there, but Rizzo certainly has made some very nice plays against the Brewers.
So 1 away, Chris Bryant. Or rather, Adam Lind will bat as Reed pops up into foul territory. And the shift is on. Bryant jump throw, and it's in time, man. So you get a little Rizzo and you get a little Bryant, known for their offense. 2 outstanding defensive plays.
Boy, a couple of times Adam Lind just wishes he was a little bit faster. Would have had 2 hits today. Look at Bryant, the jump throw right on the money, and look at a stretch by Rizzo. Tough break for Adam Lind once again.
It's impressive. So we're down to the last out, possibly. Chris Davis at the plate. And we thank all of you watching all season long. It's been great being with you on your devices, on your couch, wherever you enjoy Brewers baseball. We appreciate you tuning our way. Davis taking a swing, trying to hit a 3-run homer with nobody on.
Yeah. Got caught up in the excitement.
It's been enjoyable, Rock. Our 9th season together.
Yeah, gets better every year, bud.
You're
Good
the
job.
best.
Good luck in the postseason.
Thank you.
When do you start?
We'll be on the air Friday from St. Louis. My crew.
Back to St. Louis, huh?
The wild card winner versus the Cardinals. Thanks to our statistician Mike Faulkner, our stage manager Renee Hoffelman. Making it all work here in the booth. 1-2 pitch. Davis rolls over one. He's hanging tough. Well, does Davis have one last long ball in him? The Brewers leader in homers, sitting on 27. And a swing and a miss. The ball game is over, and the season is over for the Milwaukee Brewers. For the Cubs, Joe Madden and company are moving on. They will play in the wild card game on Wednesday. Ryan Braun headed for back surgery. We wish him the best. Brewers take the jerseys off, and they are going to make some fans very happy up there, delivering those game-used uniforms. Rock, bad season on the field as far as the win-losses go. Not a whole lot of memories, but a lot of great memories with you once again, my friend.
Yeah, I tell you, you're a pro, buddy. Good job. It's always fun, and no matter where they win, lose, or draw, it's fun being in the booth. Especially being here at Miller Park. Great fans, and thank you all for watching every night.
We give our production crew a big hand as well. Brad Weimer, Brent Reeland, Mark Vittorio. Great job down there, guys, and everybody in the truck. Time for Brewers Live. Let's do it. Got a lot of images to show you. Fans still hanging around. Brewers greeting them. They'll be signing some autographs. We've got a Brewers Live postgame to give you. And Craig Kershaw standing by with Jerry Augustine and Davey Nelson. Take it away, Craig.
Okay, BA, that's a nice scene right there with the